Reflection turns experience into insights. John C. Maxwell. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when and where you're watching from. You are welcome to Professionals Daily Devotion with Olasukomi Opaifa, where we inspire you to be more. May I say congratulations to us now, two ways. Welcome to the second half of 2025. And congratulations to us at the phenomenon because we had the Phenomenon Conference for teachers, and it was a grand success. Congratulations. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for registering. Thank you for joining online. Thank you for coming physically in Abuja. Thank you for joining us in Lagos. Thank you for joining in Ogun State and everywhere. All right. So this morning and continuously for the rest of this third quarter, we're going to be looking at things around ourselves, leadership, growth. But before we move on into all those things, I think it's just important for us to reflect on what the first half has given us. And that we are going to be looking at what you can see on the screen, the mirror doesn't lie, standing in front of the mirror. Now, the truth is, the energy of January must have faded by now. Of course, at least even by March, many of us have even lost the momentum for that one. All those your bold declaration, resolution, goals must have either matured into something or morphed into something, or in some cases vanished, or most cases. Now, the reality is the calendar itself does not really determine your goal. It is the clarity that you get over time. And that's the reality too. Of course, I had some goals too at the beginning. Have I achieved them? Somehow, have I been able to keep up somehow too? But and it is a time for us to reflect now. So whenever you are watching this, okay, just block about 15 minutes out of your time after this episode to just reflect. Okay, you don't need so much. Just take some 10 to 15 minutes to reflect about your life, and then let's make the second half more meaningful. Now, so before we plan, okay, we do that. So professionals who live with intention, okay, they don't just set goals. They when they set it, they review it, they realign it, and then they reset it. And that is what the second half is for me personally. And I believe you also want to join me on that. So just know that reflection is not a delay, it is just a discipline. You see, to reflect and tell yourself the truth, standing before the mirror and seeing the reality and adjusting things as much as possible, changing your makeup, it is not a delay, it is discipline. It takes an extra form of energy within you to do that. You see, many of us actually want to hide away from the reality, but that it takes boldness for you to stand before the mirror, your life mirror, and say, "No, Olasukami, you didn't get it well here. Okay, no, no, kudos to you. You tried. Can we readjust? Like it's okay. We know you have wasted so much of time on this. Can we go back to what we started?" So let's see what research says first before we move on into the framework we have for reflection today. Dominican University of California report that people who write and regularly reflect on their goals are significantly more likely to achieve them. Reflection isn't a suggestion, it's a strategy. When you reflect, you are likely to achieve. And in Harvard Business School study, professionals who spent 15 minutes at the end of the day reflecting performed better, about 23% better than those who didn't. Those who didn't. In their words, they say learning increases when paired with structured reflection. So you want to increase your productivity. So basically, what we are looking at is how to just increase your productivity. So how do you do that? There are three major things I practice, and I am also going to be sharing today. We call it the three mirror model. The three mirror model. Okay. See, professionals tend to pause because when you pause for clarity, and let's look at this what this model can achieve for us. The first thing you want to do of the 3R mirror model, the first R there is recall. Okay, what were the core goals, desires, and the direction you carried into the new year? You know, December, when you were coming, you were like, no, I will do this, I will do it. So you had some level of energy. So you want to go back to that reality and reflect on that. So recall back the energy. Whatever made you to make that decision or that determination at the end of last year. So whatever motivated you into it, you want to recall it to get extra energy again. So recall to yourself, okay, you see, you are not recalling on what was popular. Remember, many people went online and said this and that. No, but you want to recall on what was really personal, what motivated you from within, not the external motivation, but for your intrinsic motivation, something that pushed you from within. That no, I have suffered long on this one. I have already, I have experience enough embarrassment in this particular direction, something within you know, I think this is my inner energy. I want to do this different. So just remember. So it's the form of saying remember who you are. You're always around one shape. Just remember who you are, remember the energy, remember what pushed you. If possible, go to the paper that you had before and check, read over it again. So the first one is to recall. Now, the next R is rate. On a scale of 0 to 10 or 1 to 5, ask yourself now, based on the energy, based on the motivation, based on the desires, based on your goals, based on the direction you wanted, but how much have you really achieved this? Okay, you know, you brought that desire into January to now say, okay, from January to this, I will achieve. So ask yourself that sincere question. Nobody's there now. Okay, what's between the two of us? Write yourself 0 to 10. If I'm to rate myself, I can rate myself 5. You won't believe it. We thought it's a lie. I know what I actually wanted to achieve. Yeah, I didn't do too badly at all. Okay, but I can still rate myself 5. Okay, that's my own. So I've shared my own with you. So share your own with yourself. Don't worry. All right. So, but it is not a verdict. You are just auditing yourself. Okay. It is an audit, not a verdict. Okay. Just be factual, no emotions. Just write it. Oh, come on. This is it. All right. This is what I had as my goal, but this is where I am now. So once you do that, you have already recalled, you are rating yourself, and finally you want to now reflect, why did I move forward, or why did I stall? Why did I remain in the same place? What actually happened? Oh, I took a decision sometimes in February. I took a decision sometimes in March. And that decision now is leading me to this and this direction. Okay, no, fantastic. Because I spoke to this person, I was able to get this done. You want to rate yourself. You want to say, okay, what worked for me to get me 5/10, and what didn't work that took away the remaining 5? So you start reflecting on that one, okay? And this is where your growth actually lies, okay? Behind every outcome, there is a pattern. And behind every pattern, there are three things. There is a belief, there is a habit, and there is a blind spot. Okay, so you want to check, okay, what are the things I actually believe? What are the habits that I just need to continue or stop? Or what are the things I am not seeing and I'm losing opportunity on? When you do that, as I said earlier, our call to action this morning or this moment when you are watching is block about 15 minutes. You can do it right immediately after this broadcast. Block about 15 minutes out of your time now and start reflecting. What are my top 3 to 5 goals this year? Okay, scale yourself again and then start getting insight. Write 1 or 2 things you can do differently. And you'll realize that your remaining half of this year will be more productive than the first half. Okay, you can ask yourself a question: if you can start this year again, what will I do differently? These are strategic things and it is personal to yourself. Tomorrow, we are going to really look at another secret, okay, to productivity, and that is what worked. Okay, you want to learn how to capture your wins, learn how to own your own outcome. But before we go, let's take our words of affirmation this morning. And before the words of affirmation, yes, during Phenomenon 3.0, I unveiled, or my book was unveiled by Akim Subaya. I was there too. Okay. And if you want to pick a copy, search around my profile. Okay. You are going to get a copy there, or probably send me a DM on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or drop a message in the YouTube there. And we're going to send the link to you where you can buy it on seller. Why not encourage me? Okay. The book is titled Lead Like a Player. I mean, it's a strategic book that is based on real experience. It is not theory. This is what I was observing and was noting from a great leader. You want to learn a lot about that. You want to read the book. So let's take our words of affirmation this morning. Say this after me. I pause to lead myself. I reflect with honesty, not harshness. My progress is not accidental, it is chosen. I lead forward with clarity. Thank you for joining this morning, this moment, depending on when you're where you're watching from. Tomorrow, we're going to be learning or looking at what worked and how to capture our wins. Thank you and see you tomorrow.